Joining us here in his usual weekly spot, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Pelissero here on the program. Yeah, it's a round of applause. Brockman's applauding himself.
They're not. I say hi to my boys in studio every week, and they're not even.
Chris, come on over
they're
here.
They're not even on the set here.
Well, I mean, I've got 3 chairs. I can't add a 4th.
That's true.
So TJ just got time with Schottenheimer.
What's up, buddy? Good to see you.
If it was Vrabel, I'd bring you on.
Of course, I understand.
But no.
Tommy P, just as good as Mike Vrabel. Maybe better hair, so I'm pumped to see it.
Yeah,
that's fair to say.
You are. We've seen a bunch of people here from the NFL information community.
Of course.
Is Tom the only one who's worn a leather jacket?
Well, also, this is a wardrobe change because we saw Tom earlier today.
What's up with that?
You were suited.
Are you heading out of town? Is that what it is?
At the Combine, there are 2 parts to every day.
Yeah.
There's, for me, the morning, going through TV.
Yeah.
Then at some point in between, there's a transition to the nighttime wear. Today, it just so happens.
Nighttime wear.
It was prior to this show.
Okay.
And so
I like it.
So what is the plan? Are we clubbing tonight? Like, what is the goal?
We have many stops to make.
Okay.
Because I'm out of here tomorrow, and so the list of people I haven't seen yet, I got to make the rounds and get there.
Love it.
Yeah,
that's. It feels it's a little lighter this year, right? The crowds. Am I wrong?
At
night, like normally you're running into coaches everywhere or GMs everywhere.
A lot of them
done that yet.
Part of it's the interview schedule, honestly. So I'm in the stadium every morning for Good Morning Football, and from 7 to 8. Every coach and scout is walking by. They're in interviews all morning.
The interviews are held in the stadium.
Inside the stadium in the suites. There's more in the afternoon.
Right.
And then there's a block from like 7 to 11 p.m. of interviews as well.
Oh,
and so safe to say there's been some consternation.
I was about to say. About
from
the
every
schedule.
night when I'm trying to make my way back and get to bed at a responsible hour, about 11 p.m., and every scout is going, is the hotel bar still open? And somehow the answer is no. What? They haven't figured out, maybe, just find a way to stay open a little bit later so someone can get a drink.
Okay.
See, we got to run that up the NFL operations flagpole.
I'm sure we can.
They're one thing they are not concerned about are the bar hours. That is for sure.
That's why some teams aren't here anymore, too, because it's essentially a big.
This is real talk, by the way. Hey, everybody. This is real Combine.
Are you saying Andy Reid's knee injury not real?
No, Andy's not. He wants to make sure the burgers are open.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I told you that one time that he came in one time and him and Mooch went to town on the Steak and Shake.
Oh, I have seen Andy at Steak and Shake at 1 in the morning, wrapping things up and just by himself having a burger.
That's
phenomenal.
Andy.
I know, right?
He's a cheeseburger a day guy.
See,
a cheeseburger a day guy.
It's his favorite. He likes a good cheeseburger.
All right. So aren't you glad you came out for this part of the conversation?
Honestly, I just want to be this close to Tom's hair all the time.
Okay.
Well, speaking of the hair, so I have gotten a lot of comments.
It's the buzz of the Combine.
It's been an evolution. I believe we have some.
Hold on 1 second before we get into that. Our radio audience is returning. You know the mechanics of this program. ESPN Radio audience is back. I've got Tom Pelissero sitting right here talking about his hair. The floor is yours, sir.
Well, the radio audience, some of this will be lost on them, but I believe we do have a photo of what I looked like at the Super Bowl. I have been growing out the hair for some time. And so after Super Bowl week, right, it's a long flow, but I put into one of the AI programs, what should the next step be? And so what you're seeing here is the evolution through several different versions of AI, and I believe we have the last one.
Look at you
as we're making our way through. It's becoming more of a mullet. The sides are getting shorter.
Looks more Mahomes-like.
In the final iteration, there I'm Patrick Mahomes.
That's about to say.
Turn me into Patrick Mahomes over like 10 prompts in ChatGPT, and that's apparently what I would look like. I'm not there yet, but we're making our way.
You're like, was it like you're the Dylan Raiola of information?
Yes, exactly.
Like
I got the headband in the gym.
You're just going to turn into Mahomes?
Gradually. It's a few cuts away. But we are. Look at that.
That looks more Sideshow Bob than anything else.
I don't know why it changes the face over time, but the hair, without me even trying, went full Mahomes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Pelissero
well done,
on the program. All right, where are we on the Maxx Crosby? Is there still any there? Where are we right now? Anything?
I would say it is fair to assume that the Raiders are getting many calls about Maxx Crosby. We heard what John Spytek said in this room. Expects Max to be back.
Yes.
Great relationship, texting and talking. We have not heard from Maxx Crosby since that session. Max has many ways on social media, on a podcast, to potentially respond. But I would say the Raiders don't need to make calls. They will get calls on Maxx Crosby. Is there a world where Maxx Crosby gets traded in the next 7 to 10 days? I believe there is.
You do.
We're not there yet in terms of a deal actually getting done. But almost every player in the NFL has a price. Even setting aside the frustrations Max has had with the constant churn, being shut down at the end of last season, he's a 29-year-old star player who is still at his peak on a Raiders team that's probably going to be challenged over the next 1 to 2 years to really be competitive in a tough division. All of that, to me, tracks toward push this as far as you can, maximize your leverage by saying we're going to keep the guy here, see what type of calls you get. I'm not aware of the Raiders calling anyone. I do believe that they are getting calls, and I do believe there's a possibility of Maxx Crosby being traded sometime between now and the start of the league year.
When you get calls, your Spy Tech or Brady are saying, call John. I mean, you can receive the calls, and then you could say, thank you for your interest, we'll let you know. Or do you say actual compensation that would work? You know what I mean? Like, how deep are these that you are willing to share with us based on your knowledge? How deep, detailed calls are these?
There's about 1,700 players in the NFL, 2,800 in the offseason. I would say maybe
start to this answer.
Maybe 20 of them, it's a thank you for your interest, hang up the phone. Maybe 20 in the entire league. There are not many guys that there is not a price. And just, again, my opinion, look at the circumstances here.
Right.
You have a player that has been very frustrated on multiple levels.
Yes.
And has expressed that. We know that much for sure. We have a Raiders team that is not probably a Maxx Crosby away from winning the Super Bowl this year. New regime. Clint Kubiak has had a good coffee with him, spent a little time with him. I do not believe that John Spytek, Tom Brady want to trade Maxx Crosby. But there are so many teams that need pass rush help.
Yeah.
Every contending type team. I've been asked here, would it be the Bears? Would it be the 49ers? Would it be the Bills? Would it be the Lions?
Everybody.
Patriots.
I would say, why would any of those teams, any team that's a contender, not make the call and try to find out what the price would be?
Well, what is the price? That's what I'm saying. Are the Raiders verbalizing a price in these conversations?
It's not really how it works in terms of it has to be here. Sometimes. But a lot of times it is more so, what would you offer? Why would we, as the team that has the player that other people want, constrain ourselves by saying, here's the price tag? It's
because
much more
somebody could just go hog wild and say, I'll give you 3 1s. And all they were going to ask you for was 2.
Or you continue to listen to what you're being offered and then let people know, well, actually, we're being offered this. And that's a lot of times how you drive the market. I don't believe that it would be Micah Parsons, which was 2 1s, and
you don't.
Kenny Clark.
Why?
Max is 29 years old.
Micah's younger.
Micah's younger.
Right.
Micah's 25. He's got more years left in his prime. Max is still really, really good.
Of course he is.
He's got 3-4 years left probably of playing at a really elite level. But it's hard to justify for the teams we're going to give up that type of package. Never say never. I mean, I wouldn't have sat here prior to the trade deadline last year and say the Jets are getting 2 1s for Sauce Gardner.
Right.
But that happened. They drove the price on Quinnen Williams. There's a lot of different dynamics at play. But the calls are going to come. It's fair to assume they are getting calls. They have no reason not to listen. Does the price get to a point where they're willing to move them? That remains the open question. But is it possible? Yes.
All right. Over the last half hour, news breaking about Anthony Richardson here being allowed to look for a new place of business. What do you know about that?
That was probably inevitable, I would say. 3 years in, all the injuries, the really unfortunate circumstance last year where a resistance band accident in pregame warmups leaves him with a serious injury to his orbital socket and his eye. We don't yet know firmly where we stand in terms of the medical with Anthony Richardson. Everything the Colts have said publicly is he's continuing to progress. He was able to practice a little bit, but it's one thing saying you can get back out on the field or do conditioning or throw the ball around. It's completely different to can you go and play quarterback at a high level. It's also the reality of Anthony Richardson knows he has no path to be the starter in Indianapolis again.
Even with Daniel Jones having an Achilles injury that may or may not have him ready in week 1?
Everything is tracking toward Daniel Jones being ready for week 1.
Okay.
The Colts have been in negotiations on a contract extension, a multi-year deal to keep Daniel Jones there, which shows you they're not sitting there going, well, maybe Anthony can beat him out. That was last year. It didn't happen. This is full steam ahead. maybe more likely that it's a tag, at least initially, on Daniel Jones, but they've been trying to do a long-term deal. So if you're Anthony Richardson, you're at a point like Trey Lance was with the 49ers,
right,
where Trey Lance was drafted number 3, Richardson was number 4, a lot of injuries, hadn't played, super talented guy. And we've seen that with Trey when he got in the preseason with Dallas, what he looked like last year with the Chargers. If you're Anthony Richardson, you're hoping that's your trajectory is. Just get me someplace else where I can settle in, not have the pressure on me. I think he's 23, 24 years old. I mean, he's a young guy who's 6'5" and 250 and has a massive cannon of an arm. Just get me somewhere else where maybe the dynamic's a little bit different, and I'm not the guy who was supposed to be the guy, and I'm not. Now it's a fun project for somebody. And you know that and not saying he goes to these teams, but the Sean McVays, Kyle Shanahan's, Kevin O'Connell's of the world, they love Matt LaFleur too. Look what he did with Malik Willis.
Right.
All those guys, if you got somebody with a ton of physical ability, let's put him in a good system with really good coaching and see what we can get out of him, assuming that at some point he's fully cleared and all the way back from a medical perspective.
And when Ben Johnson was on the podium, we're hearing, Tyson Bagent's name being mentioned, right?
Well, makes sense.
I mean, that's the reason why I'm bringing it up is, are teams going to be looking at other teams' number 2s to say, let's get you in our program, let's give you a chance to compete for a starter's job, rather than wait for Tua or Kyler to clear? Wondering if they're going to clear. I'm wondering where we're going here.
I believe this all
on the quarterback front.
It all fits together. You have a draft where Fernando Mendoza, we all assume and believe he's going number 1 to the Raiders. After that, the only other quarterback that somebody might think can be a starter sooner than later is probably Ty Simpson from Alabama. And even that one, he's a 1-year starter. There's some growth that needs to take place for him to get ready.
Right.
So if you're one of the 7 to 10 teams, I'd say 7 firmly that need a starter. There's probably a half dozen more that at least need a compete guy or somebody who could step in, or a really good one underneath a young player. You're having to tip over all these different buckets. There's not hey, we'll go draft Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. We'll take, Tyler Shuck and have him come in and compete with Spencer Rattler. Those guys don't exist in this draft. And so you have this unique combination of, other than Malik Willis, who I do believe is going to get somewhere between $20 and $30 million a year. I would say between Miami and Arizona, maybe somebody else, the price is going to get driven up. We had John Eric Sullivan on, and he said, my gut tells me it will not be cheap. So there is a price point for Malik Willis. Other than that, and Daniel Jones, obviously, who they're trying to get something done with, I don't know that any other, and Aaron Rodgers is in a different category entirely.
Sure.
There's not another guy who's going to get paid. So you're talking through a bunch of budget-type options. Tyson Bagent is a budget-type option. I don't know what the price would be in a trade. I would have to think it's not a throwaway. He's a really good backup. Is it a 3rd-round pick for Tyson Bagent to potentially go get him? Mac Jones, same thing. It's not going to be a giveaway. I do believe the 49ers, regardless of what's been said publicly, would move Mac Jones at a certain point, but that, too, might require a day 2 pick. You're sort of in this at Richardson, Will Levis. There's guys who have started games in this league. You have almost a competition between which of the budget options is going to be the best one and becomes available first. Mm-hmm. And if you're a team that might be a less desirable situation, you might not be able to get one of these veterans. This is an important thing to understand, because of the 4 to 5 veteran quarterbacks that could be cut in the next 2 weeks here between Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, Geno Smith, and Justin Fields doesn't have an early trigger, but he does have guaranteed money. Mm-hmm. When you have quarterbacks who have guaranteed money, or any player with guaranteed money, when they become free agents, the money doesn't matter. You can't bid on the player unless you're paying them above and beyond what their guarantees are. In other words, let's say all those guys get cut tomorrow. Where are they going to want to go? No one's going to sit there, probably, I don't think, and go, my first choice is going to the New York Jets. Your first choice is probably going to a team like the Vikings that has Justin Jefferson and Kevin O'Connell, who, sprinkles magic dust on quarterbacks, and they all of a sudden play really well underneath him. I mean, that's been the track record for him. You might have to trade something to get one of those guys. You might have to trade something to go get Kyler, because you're not going to have the opportunity to pluck him off the street. It's a really unique thing where we could have 4 or 5 quarterbacks with a ton of starts who all have guaranteed money and are all signing for minimum salaries, which means there's no such thing as a bidding war. It's literally the players choosing where they want to go. And oh, by the way, if some team does work out a trade to eat some of the money, if the player doesn't want to go there, he can go, I'm not signing the revised contract, and can blow up any trade. It's really fascinating because we've never seen a quarterback group quite like what we're going to be dealing with over these next couple of weeks.
So all the machinations happen in the next 3 weeks, right?
Essentially.
Or what are the odds that all of this doesn't pop before the 2 days that you're allowed to talk before the new league year starts? What about that?
Kyler has an additional $19.5 million that vests if he's still on the roster March 15th. Tua has, I believe, another $3 million that vests if he's on the roster March 13th. Kirk Cousins, we already know he's getting released. He's going to be released on March 11th based on the revised contract. Geno Smith also has, I believe, an extra $8 million that becomes fully guaranteed on the third day of the league year. So March 13th, March 15th, more than likely March 11th, 12th, you're going to see these things begin to happen. The only question within the league, and the only threat, frankly, that the teams have that have these quarterbacks is, we'll just keep them. We'll do what the Falcons did last year. Let that extra $10 million vest for Kirk Cousins and keep a really high-priced backup until you give us something for him. Well, how that worked out with the Falcons is they've got a completely new regime, and that regime is still on the hook for $10 million of Kirk Cousins this year. It's rare. It's not unprecedented, but it's rare for a player you know is not going to be there for you to go, we're going to let a bunch of additional fully guaranteed money vest.
Okay. I got... What are you thinking over there?
Well, the Falcons needed Kirk Cousins last year, so it was good that they kept him around. I'm so curious about the Minnesota situation.
I was just literally about to ask
that. I mean, Cameron Wolf is reporting that there's mutual interest between the Vikings and Anthony Richardson. Could you see that happening realistically?
It would be a complete projection with Anthony Richardson.
Well, I mean, forget about Anthony Richardson. Just the mere fact of what Chris just brought up. Like, what is the plan in year 2 based on year 3
for JJ McCarthy and the Vikings,
right, where year 1 was him and Sam Darnold made the best man win, and then the injury gods made the decision for everybody. And then year 2 was, we're going to offer Sam something, but whatever the heck it wasn't good enough for him to stay in a situation where he knew there was a kid right behind him. Now year 3 is what? Where they bring in a veteran who's going to compete with him?
It's what they intended to do last year. When they did not get Sam Darnold back, and realistically they knew someone was probably going to outbid him, even though the Seahawks offer was structured similarly. Plan B was Daniel Jones stays. What they didn't know was that Daniel Jones would choose to take a virtually identical offer and leave to go to the Colts.
Well, because he's in a situation where if he's competing with somebody who is already on a tenuous ground with an opportunity to really get the job, why wouldn't he do that? JJ McCarthy was 100% going to get the runway to start.
Both Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones chose the path least resistance. You're absolutely right about that.
You don't want to look over your shoulder and go, here comes the kid.
I would just tell you, the Vikings thought they were getting Daniel Jones back. They had the offer in place. The Colts didn't do anything.
And then what? Compete in the summer?
And then compete with JJ McCarthy and have that be the setup. You're absolutely right that Daniel Jones looks at that and goes, it's probably a matter of time until they go to the other guy. But remember, he did have to compete with Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis to win that job as well. What I would say is what the Vikings are going to do this year is what they intended to do a year ago, which is have a legitimate guy, a former starter, competing with JJ McCarthy. And they're optimistic that competitive environment is going to bring out the best in McCarthy. I would say the logical guys. And again, I believe the Vikings, all things equal, because the money doesn't matter, they're going to be able to get someone for a minimum salary if these guys get cut. The ones that make sense to me would be Kyler Murray. Coming in, he's played a ton. He has not played in this offense. So you get an opportunity to learn from Kevin O'Connell, and we know he's got playmaking ability. He's fully healthy now. Geno Smith would also make some sense as a compete guy. Because, again, you can, at some point, you can turn it over. Even if those guys are your starters out of the gate and they all play J.J. McCarthy, at some point you can turn it over. The idea of bringing in Aaron Rodgers, and if the season doesn't get off to a good start, you're not benching four-time NFL MVP Aaron Rodgers.
That is correct.
You're not having an open competition between Aaron Rodgers and J.J. McCarthy.
That is correct.
I don't believe you can have an open competition between Kirk Cousins and J.J. McCarthy, because you got thousands of fans pulling out their number 8 jerseys because he is Kirk Cousins. And because I don't know that Kirk wants to come in and play for a minimum salary either. He's made a ton of money, as everybody knows. It's what he's most famous for. I believe that a guy like Kyler or Geno makes a ton of sense to come in because you can have a truly level playing ground. You can choose the best quarterback. If JJ, who it sounds like is back healthy, He's working on a lot of things in this offseason. He's going to spend time with Justin Jefferson in this offseason. Justin Jefferson still believes in JJ McCarthy. I can tell you that factually. He still believes in him. There have been a ton of bumps. JJ McCarthy is much more in the Trey Lance, Anthony Richardson category of we have no idea what he is right now than he is in the 2-year, 34 starts, failed and not good enough.
Let me push back on that a little bit.
Please.
You know who you're talking to here. JJ McCarthy lost one game in college. 1 game in college. 2 years. All right? I mean, Anthony Richardson had 1, year in Florida. And Trey Lance had a COVID year and 1 year at a certain level. JJ has more experience and has shown that he has the ability to make throws in big games at the collegiate level. As a professional, I understand he's in the same mix of a highly drafted first-round guy that you're wondering what he can possibly be.
What I mean is there's no reason for the Vikings to punt on a guy that organizationally there's a belief in.
But aren't you punting on him by bringing in a veteran to potentially beat him out, which might actually happen because he is still green? And then when do you turn it over to him in year 4? When you got 1 more year of contractual control after
you bring in a guy for $1 million essentially if one of these guys gets cut loose, and you are setting it up for JJ to go out there and win the job.
And then Kyler has an earbud in his ear in Minnesota.
Maybe you trade him. They did it last year. They traded for Sam Howell during the draft and then traded him to Philly during camp and signed Carson Wentz. There was a lot of quarterback stuff in Minnesota last year, and some of it's got forgotten. But the idea last year was to have JJ in a competitive situation. It didn't play out that way based on all these other things that happened that were somewhat out of their control.
Right.
They want to have him in a competitive situation. They have a belief in JJ McCarthy. And you're absolutely right. JJ, a highly accomplished college quarterback.
Yes.
But the point being, I don't think that we know in the NFL. There are way too many people who have memed JJ McCarthy. He has memed himself on certain things as well.
Referring to himself as 9, his alter ego is 9.
Which champagne bottle stuff.
Every good moment J.J. McCarthy had last year was followed by something strange. First game, the comeback in Chicago, they win, he's fired up, has a baby on Thursday, misses practice, is watching tape in the hospital room, goes out and doesn't play well, and suffers an injury. Misses 6 weeks. Comes back against Detroit. I was at that game. There's no one who's going to tell me that J.J. McCarthy, who played in Detroit, is a bust in the NFL. He was excellent.
He was.
Didn't have to throw the ball a ton, but red zone, big situations. He was really, really good. Comes out the following Wednesday, talks about his alter ego. Next week doesn't play as well. Then later he's got a concussion. Then he's got the wrist or hand thing. There's been so many bumps. But you would know. There have been other quarterbacks, Rich, that we've all covered, right? And we've all seen it take place. Where you're 2 years in, it's like, this guy, come on, we can't.
Right.
This is not going to work. They don't feel like that in Minnesota. Kevin doesn't feel like that. Rob Brzezinski, who essentially is the interim GM, doesn't feel like that. What they're saying publicly matches what's being said privately. So Justin Jefferson doesn't.
So why are they bringing in a veteran to compete? Why not just call him the starter?
Because they want to have options because he's not shown that he can be durable. They don't want to be signing Carson Wentz off the couch at the cutdown deadline in August and then having to play him. They go to the playoffs last year if Carson Wentz doesn't get hurt, by the way. They're still a 9-8 team. They're not that far away.
Because McCarthy came back and won football games.
He came back and he played well. Down the stretch, he had the moments.
Right, Max Brosmer playing is really what really crushed it.
That's if Wentz doesn't get hurt.
Right.
Brosmer in Seattle having to start a game where didn't Mooch predict he was going to throw for 500 yards in that game?
That was his bold prediction.
I don't think he threw for 50 in that game.
I know.
But there's still a lot there with J.J. McCarthy. But there is something to be said for being in a competitive environment where every day you're having to fight for the job. That's why some teams don't want to anoint people. And the Vikings didn't want to. They're going to do this year what they intended to do a year ago.
Ian's coming here. Do you want to break news here and show him up?
Yeah. I think I already did that when I broke that trade walking through the skywalks earlier today.
I know. You walked in right as I was getting an alert. And I'm like, hey, breaking news.
Yeah. What'd you break?
The Jets trading Jermaine Johnson to the Titans for Tavondre Sweat.
And you did that in a skyway, in a skywalk?
I got a call as I was going up the escalator in one of the hotels over here after getting out of a meeting saying, hey, there's a trade going down right now. So dropped my bag. So an agent who's come here for years is walking by. He's on his phone. He comes to, I'm like huddled by an elevator in one of the hotels, and he comes over and he goes, hey, you're in my secret spot, because he's in a call and he's trying to duck into a corner. And he's like, I've been coming here for years. I'm like, well, this is, I took the spot.
You took someone else's secret spot.
Eventually, because everyone's been coming here forever. Like, where you can duck away to.
It's like a same seat situation on a bus.
I know the skywalks of Indianapolis
like
better than Minneapolis.
Back here on the Rich Eisen Show, Tom Pelissero here for a few more minutes. Let's, before I let you go, the trade that the Jets and the Titans made, what's the genesis? Why would the Jets want to cough up a pass rusher? Because they got second overall. They're going to get somebody new there.
That definitely gives them the ammo to go and replace Jermaine Johnson. But it's also this: he's 27. He's an older fifth-year player because he was older coming out. He's due over $13 million on his fifth-year option, and he probably wasn't a long-term fit for what they want to do with Aaron Glenn now running his defense and taking over the play calling. You got a guy in Robert Saleh in Tennessee. Hi, Ian. Who?
This is Tom's time.
My bad.
He wrote back, nice job on that trade, period. That was his text to me after. No, it was definitely a period. But anyway, so Robert Saleh.
What do you want, an exclamation point?
I would like an exclamation point to show that he was.
Well, you give this man his punctuation he's looking for.
He's never actually happy for me when I break something. But Robert Saleh gets one of his favorites, Jermaine Johnson, back. And the Jets get, Tavondre Sweat is a top nose tackle, huge, space eater type of guy who is going to fit the way that Aaron Glenn wants to play in New York.
It goes back to what Kyle Van Noy was telling us about.
Bro going to trade today? Edie Bro going to trade today? Oh, no, there's only been one so far. There's only been one.
Okay, so
there's
no other trades to break.
Aren't you guys supposed to do this at Starbucks? Like, you're not
is this a Starbucks situation?
To fight on air.
We had it out the other night over something else. We're good now.
You and Ian?
Oh, yeah. No, there's occasional. Is
that the Avengers thing?
I don't know, man. Just
I don't remember. There's only a handful of Infinity Stones.
I don't remember the part of Avengers where Iron Man ditched Ironheart and War Machine to go coddle up to Captain America. But we all got business.
This is real talk.
Unbelievable.
This is real talk.
I am Groot.
The announcing is awful right now. You bet. Here he comes. He's got his hand mic. Is that working?
Ian, take a seat.
Is this working? Take a seat.
Why don't you take a seat?
I don't understand. You guys have prop mics?
We got it all working.
Is that a real
mic?
mic?
No, you could. Now you don't need too much.
This is like when. This is like when old school artists were having like the Madonna mic, and then when it's time to actually sing instead of lip singing, they hold the real mic.
There you go. Now you got that microphone.
Double fisting.
There we go.
How many mics do I need?
Only seen that a few times this week from you.
I drink beer. It's like drinking water.
This is fantastic.
It's like Landman, where if you're drinking beer, you're
like
basically
the
not even
Sunshine
drinking.
Boys right now, huh?
What's up?
The finger.
He doesn't even know what the.
I don't even know what the Sunshine Boys are.
Oh, really? You don't even know?
He's not real cultured.
Okay.
Look at his socks.
Rich, are you aware that there's a well-known, successful general manager in the NFL who only refers to Pelissero as the Fonz? And it is moments like this.
It's moments like this.
I just saw him, actually.
The Fonz?
He only calls you the Fonz, and this is why. He's going to be real excited
nice
when he
chat
sees
with him
this.
last night.
Yeah?
Loves my hair, too. You saw the AI, the me where AI turned me into Patrick Mahomes, right?
You seen that?
I think I sent that to you guys a while ago.
Fantastic.
It was pretty
AI can do some amazing things.
Do we have it? You got one more time here? Oh, you've seen it.
I've not seen it.
You've not seen it?
I think we've established here that my pop culture reach is limited.
No.
I stick to what I like.
I named a 70s movie, just,
old.
Sunshine Boys.
I got a very small wheelhouse of movies I like.
Fantastic.
And Tom probably hasn't seen most of them.
Tom Pelissero here on the program. Ian is about to join us. I got 2 more minutes left. Oh, you got the photo? Pop it up.
Let me see.
This is Tom.
Yeah, there was when AI just kept changing my hair and my face. I consulted before continuing.
You look like Dylan Raiola.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
See, we're on the same page.
We are on the same page.
Rich pull it off.
No,
you look amazing. I mean, that's Rich. You with hair.
See, the two of you guys. I just love that the two of you guys get to sit here.
This is what the week is like.
Yeah,
teammates.
Yeah, for now.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
Your
this is what I have to deal with.
teammates-
Don't listen to him.
Not his whole soundbite didn't get picked up, Tom.
Tom, I don't know if you know this, but the media sometimes can take things and twist them.
He didn't.
As I told him, there's not 2 Avengers. There's like 8.
Maybe I'll be in the sequel.
I'm trying to think of what the sequel
is. Is he
is.
Ant-Man? Which one is he?
He's not funny enough to be.
He's Ant-Man.
I mean, you could do worse than Ant-Man. You could do worse.
See, I think
Like,
you guys
listen,
are a
Garofalo
super duo.
Garofalo would be the Incredible Hulk for obvious reasons.
You guys are my super duo heroes, you know? Garofalo's an Infinity Stone, right? Mm-hmm. Come on now.
He's got to be the Incredible Hulk for his very hot temper.
Why? Because he gets angry?
He gets very angry.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You see Bruce Banner on TV, but he hulks.
Okay. Tommy P.
This is actually great. See, this is what we need AI for.
He pointed out he broke a trade today.
He sure did. I gave a quick retweet, and then after
quick
the
retweet.
Yeah, oh yeah, very.
How many seconds was a retweet? How quick? 15
seconds.
He did. He also did the flat retweet too. It was like a trade.
That's not true. I said an early trade.
Was there an exclamation point? Was it an exclamation
point?
He wants the proper punctuation.
He had the exclamation point in his trade, so I don't want to go overboard. Plus, he didn't even have a picture, which that's rough.
There was a delay.
How do you not use a picture?
I had separate pictures. I needed to get one with them together.
This is fantastic.
And
this may be my favorite segment of the entire week.
Really?
There it is. There's a picture.
Yeah.
No.
It says from Tom Pelissero.
Because Ian likes to update his tweets, but then that changes the timestamp, and it looks like you didn't win.
There you go.
I just let the tweet go.
That's true.
The Sunshine Boys of NFL media right here.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.